My name is Daddy Odin. I'm here to bring you Season 30, Week 2 of playoffs. There's definitely some sparks flying during this week. We had quite a bit of drama over the 4 days, I think 3 days, I'm not sure. Wasn't really too involved in it. But keeping that aside, let's go straight into the content and discuss what games took place in this week. Let's start from the upper bracket. We had TBD versus Grindraver. TBD did a 2-0 against Grindraver. Personally, because I played in the game, I feel like we wasted a bit more time trying to kill Harv, and kudos to TBD as well. I think they actually surprised me. Expecting something like that from a legend, ancient, average kind of team was quite unlikely. They made really good space for Harv. They avoided fights at all costs, and I was just really amazed. They used the Kyle really well. Which kudos to that, by the way. Next series, we have PSGS versus Seoul Invictus. I don't think I need to speak much about this series. I'm pretty sure because of what happened the past 3 days, everyone probably knows about the series and already looked into the drafts and what kind of heroes played and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna slightly hover over it and go into the lower bracket. In the lower bracket, we have our first in the lower bracket is the surprise sleeper pick that is creating quite a commotion and is currently the talk of the town and contenders. It's Helmets On. Helmets On won their series against Sabres first, then they went on and played FOTp. I think there's something wrong actually. Okay, wait. That FOTp and Sabres played. Okay, I think this bracket in the website is kind of wrong, but it's a similar concept. Helmets On beat FOTp, and they went and beat MTl Lincoln, who dropped from the upper bracket. I looked at the games, both the Helmets On versus MTl, as well as Helmets On versus FOTp. I feel like the game, especially MTl Lincoln versus Helmets On, I feel like MTl Lincoln were throwing bodies. They never had that 5v5 fight. And I think that's the reason Helmets On cashed on the mistakes that they made, and they won in the lower bracket in the week 2. Congrats for them. I heard that they did kind of role swap. I didn't look too deep into it because I don't know the players, so I wasn't really familiar with what they did. Next, we have, I believe, Team Slavic Bakers versus WSS Cobalt, and then WSS Cobalt versus Wasted Youth. Wasted Youth was the upper bracket team, which came into the lower bracket. I actually casted the game to Team Slavic Bakers versus WSS Cobalt. Team Slavic Bakers, they changed their name from Pool Lizard Boys, if anyone is wondering in the content. And I feel like there were a couple of mistakes that Team Slavic Baker did. They picked the Lich Grimstroke, but I don't think in the whole game they ever used the ult until the last minute. But at that point, it's kind of too late because they already had BKBs on Razor, and I forgot the other hero they had. But really good job by Cobalt. They kind of surprised me because in the drafting phase, I really didn't think the draft would work. But they picked a draft which is one of a kind, 2 Cobalts, and the Razor safe lane definitely worked for them, and they won the series. And I feel like in that same game, don't mean to flame anyone, but I feel like the Legion commander was jumping a bit too ahead, and there were also some unforeseen or misfortunate smoke plays that happened, as well as teams like Bakers, especially the smoke around 15 to 20 minutes where they smoked and they were trying to go near the Radiant outpost, but the enemy team was already planning to smoke at that high ground, and they just saw them from the high ground. So the unfortunate smoke high ground thing happened, and they kind of lost the game there. Going next into Wasted Youth versus WSS Cobalt. I kind of saw this coming. I feel like Wasted Youth as well as WSS Cobalt are probably in the same kind of skill level to keep it nicely. But I think the added advantage that Wasted Youth had was, one, they were able to see the game beforehand of how they played against teams like Bakers. And the second one, I believe it is WS Cobalt. This season, they are playing a very high tempo. We have a timer kind of drafts. And I feel like Wasted Youth are the team who can use the same kind of drafts like WS Cobalt, but they can itemize in a way which makes even these timer oriented lineups very strong in the late game because they make items that complement each other. And I feel like that is the extra edge Wasted Youth has, which sets them apart from WSS Cobalt. I did want to do a deep dive into this game because this was the only game that I haven't watched. So let us go and look at what happened from the drafting phase and where things might have went wrong for WSS Cobalt. I think I was watching this game. I believe Licky the Cow was streaming it with his co-caster Biggie, and I think I got a glimpse of it. I remember they had Ursa on the side of Wasted Youth, and they had Juggernaut on the side of Cobalt. Yeah, they did a first phase Juggernaut. I mean, it's kind of I kind of see why they did it. Because usually when you're playing as WSS Cobalt, Darth Eisenberg loves Juggernaut, and teams have been banning it in the second phase. So they went ahead and picked it. Also, Mars also got stolen from the side of WSS Cobalt. They opened with the Phoenix, and Mars got stolen from them. I think they should, as soon as they saw Nyx Assassin, I think they should have picked the Mars, then went for the Phoenix. Because I feel like if you have a Nyx Assassin Phoenix support duo, it's kind of hard to do things around the map. Because Nyx Assassin is not your pause 5 hero, and Fructose Father, even though he loves playing Phoenix, and they did not ban it, so it's still open for you for the second pick. I feel like they should have switched the order if they were planning on Mars. If they were not planning on Mars, this doesn't even apply. And oh yeah, this was the game where they played mid Mars, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. And Lava played his legendary Sanking. Kind of surprised that the hero survived till the end. Given the fact that I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone is in the current season 30 contenders is scared of Lava's Sanking. We sure were scared of it in game 2. I feel like if they would have swapped that, I think Cobalt's draft would have been much more better. They also picked the OD into Nyx Assassin. It's a very hard kind of hero to play into Nyx Assassin. And it's not OD versus a Nyx Assassin mid, but anytime Nyx Assassin, as soon as he hits level 6, he comes for a gank, OD is wide exposed. You have one orb, and if you engage on the mid with that orb, or Astral Imprisonment, you're essentially dead there. You can't really do much. Especially tied to picking. I mean, I guess you can purge off the break as soon as you take the damage, so it's not that effective. But yeah. Yeah, they also looks like they didn't have enough bans to ban others too. You gotta pick your poison. Hopefully WSS Cobalt, they are coming back again. They're your stable contenders division. Hopefully no one is leaving the team because they just made the team, or they just reformed the team with a couple of new additions into the team. So we're looking to see what they will be doing next season. It's first season, team players are still bonding, and you really don't know each other that well yet, and you don't know what you bring to the team yet. I feel like is one of the things teams or new teams suffer from. But yeah, I think that was the last game of that week 2 playoffs in season 30 contenders. Now let's go for predictions. We got TBD versus PSGS in the upper bracket. I feel like I got to prefer TBD. I feel like their players are well adjusted, and they play a lot of Dota. They play so much Dota, like especially Harbinger. He plays so much Dota in so many different leagues, RD2L and stuff like that. And I feel like PSGS might be pushed a bit around. I think the only way PSGS is going to win is that you pick a very high tempo and you squash all 4 players off TBD except Harp, because he will farm, he will find space himself, and you will not find him in the map. Or you focus Harp with so much gank oriented heroes that anywhere he goes, he's a dead meat kind of thing. But I feel like I feel like whatever draft PSGS is gonna be able to use to beat TBD, they are gonna be on a timer, and if they miss a timer or take one bad fight when going high ground, I feel like TBD is gonna spin it all around them. But I'm actually kind of excited to see this game. I feel like this game is going to be very exciting. But whoever is going to fall does have still a chance. They're going to come into the lower bracket, and I believe they will get a best of 3 in the lower bracket to the winner of to the person who comes into the finals in the lower bracket. Can't find words to say. Next, in the lower bracket, we have Wind Ravers going against Helmets On. This is my team, this series. It's a best of 1 game. Best of 1 games are usually stressful. You really don't want to mess up like one small mistake in draft. You forget to get some kind of hero, and games go in a wide range of ways. But I feel like we have a good plan going into this game. I feel like it might be easy compared to the other game that's happening in the lower bracket. But Helmeton did throw curveball at the whole league. They are playing much more serious than what they have played. So I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to play this series against Helmeton. I don't think we ever played them in this season 30. So I think I think Sabres, FOTp, and Helmeton are the only teams we never played. Other teams, I think we scrimmed against them. Next, let's go into the other game that's going to happen again in the lower bracket: Soul Invictus versus Wasted Youth. It's a best of 1, and I feel like Soul Invictus is a really good team, but they do make some mistakes. And if there's a team that can capitalize on mistakes other than TBD, I think it's Wasted Youth next in line. They're very keen. Anytime they see you slipping, Wasted Youth are going to snatch that opportunity, and they're going to pound very hard. But at the same time, Soul Invictus, they love those late game oriented games, and the meta is such in favor of late game oriented drafts, especially their like Clinks, Magnuses, and stuff like that. So I'm kind of interested to see. This is going to be a polar opposite drafts. I can predict that right now between Wasted Youth versus Soul Invictus. Wasted Youth is probably going to be going for a really kind of a tempo game with really good team fight oriented into them to take fights around, I don't know, 15 to 25 minutes in that nice window. And I feel like Soul Invictus is going to pick like dodgy heroes, if they are able to snap the Clinks or Wind Range or something like that. They're probably going to be, or even Magnus actually, it's also a dodgy hero, who are probably just going to avoid fighting as much as possible. So I'm very interested to watch this game afterwards as well. But the winners are going to go into a game on the same day. And I don't want to be cocky in the content and pull a team forward and do prediction. But any team that's going to come, it's going to be very exciting. Currently, based on what people are saying, odds are Soul Invictus is going to come forward. So it's going to be interesting. Wind Ravers lost to Soul Invictus before, so it'll be a nice rematch. I think Helmeton ever played Soul Invictus, so they will be a new challenge for Soul Invictus to beat. Or it could be Wasted Youth, who knows? We will never know. Hopefully players have good internet, and they are fully ready for 2 games. Obviously, it's going to be stressful because you got to plan different drafts for 3 different teams, which have 3 different kind of play styles. And I mean, none of the teams have a similar play style. Helmeton like to play a very fight-oriented, late game greed kind of build. Wasted Youth, they like to pick like skirmishy, team fight-oriented drafts. Grim Reavers, they like to pick like run at you kind of drafts, and Solar just like to go for the late game. So it's a very wide range of boxes you need to check. So it's definitely going to be stressful at that 10 p.m. ESC. So I believe Grim Reavers versus Helmets have a caster. I'm not sure if Wasted Youth have a caster versus Solar Invictus. I think they do. I think Zero Clouds follows them, if I'm not mistaken, and of course TBD already has a caster. Alivate is going to be casting. I think she's in the look for a co-caster, so if you want to cast, or your team already exited and you don't have anyone to cast, and you don't have a co-caster, why don't you just partner with her? She's really good to cast with, and it'll be fun, right? And casting with new people. That's all for this week. We actually did not do Spotlight Hero. It was kind of hard. The data has been diminishing, so picking a Spotlight Hero has been a bit challenging. As we are coming closer to the end, I actually have talked very much this today. Oh yeah, look at that. Apparently, the most played hero with the highest win rate is kind of Juggernaut. 13 games, 76% win rate. And the next one in the line is Nyx Assassin, 10 games, 70% win rate. Oh god. Oh wow, Puck is not having a good time. 13 games only has 38% win rate. But that's all for this week, week 2. Good luck to all the teams that are playing, and hopefully the teams that have exited already in week 2, we hope to see you in season 31, which is going to be coming after the season. And I hope you stick around, and hope you find new teammates if any of your teammates have left or they passed on the bracket above Ancient or something like that. That's all for today. Daddy Odin out.